Hey everyone, how y'all doing, and welcome back to another meta guide. So we are in the Retro Cup, so the season is coming to a close. This is not the final week. I think we have 3 weeks left until the new season, so we'll see what that brings us. I don't predict many changes, but with that being said, the Retro Cup, Dark type, Steel type, and Fairy types are going to be banned, and this is a great league meta. So going back to the originals, right, red, blue, yellow, when you didn't have the other 3 types, right, those were added later on. But let's go ahead and dive right into things and see what we got going on for us. So for the S rank, we do have Primeape. So I do think Primeape will dominate in this meta. I think it's going to be really good. Yeah, I mean, definitely the best fighting type for the Premier Cup, or the Retro Cup, excuse me. So I would definitely recommend going with a Primeape. I think Primeape is actually going to be really good. It is really frail, of course, as you know, but Primeape is just really good in general. Then we have Jumpluff. So Jumpluff is going to be another fantastic one. Pokemon you see in the Open Great League, right? Of course, they're going to still do really well in the Retro Cup as well. And then we have Dusknoir, or Shadow Dusknoir. So, I mean, the Dynamic Punch is powerful. Astonish is actually really powerful as well. So, another great one. Ferret is one of my favorite new Pokemon that got updated with Sucker Punch, Swift, and Trailblaze. I think it's a fantastic pick in general, and I really do like Ferret a lot. I haven't used it as much as I would have liked to this season in general, but I do really like Ferret. And the Sucker Punch damage is going to be super effective towards the Ghost types, plus you double resist Ghost attacks. So you're looking really good, especially since there's a lot of Ghost types in this meta, like Goliath, Corsola. I almost said Stunfisk. But yeah, it's going to be another pretty good Pokemon. I mean, this one's super bulky, right? Of course, as a Ghost type. Then we have Ursaring. I did put it on top of the list. I do think Ursaring will be good with the Shadow Claw. What does it have? Close Combat, Swift. I think it also has Play Rough. It's just really frail, so that's something you have to take note of. But other than that, I do think it's going to be pretty good. I just think Ferret's probably better, but still, if you want to go double Shadow Claw, double normal team, you could do it with Ursaring. And then we have Lapras as a Sidewave user. Lapras, I loved the buff to Lapras this season. Absolutely incredible. Just because I love Lapras as a Pokemon, so the fact that it got Sidewave was incredible. Also has Ice Beam and Skull Bash, and then also got Sparkling Area. So the Ice Beam and Skull Bash is really up to you. It just seems like whatever move I don't want them to have, it seems like they have that. Like if it's a Lapras mirror match, I'm hoping they don't have Skull Bash. It seems like they have Skull Bash. If I have a Dragon, it seems like they have Ice Beam, right? But no, I mean, it's a fantastic Pokemon all in all, right? And then we have Grumpig, so another Sidewave user, and Grumpig went crazy this season. Love to see it. It has to watch out for the Ghost types, the Sucker Punch users. By the way, when I said double Shadow Claw with Ursaring and Ferret, I made a mistake. Obviously, Ferret has Sucker Punch, and then Ursaring has Shadow Claw. Just had to correct myself. I just remembered saying that by accident. But yeah, no, Grumpig is fantastic. From one of the worst Pokemon to one of the best, to be honest. I mean, absolutely incredible. Again, it does have to watch out for all the Ghost types and the normal types with like Sucker Punch or Shadow Claw, right? But it also has Dynamic Punch for the coverage and Shadow Ball for the Ghost coverage as well. So you can still pick up shields at the very least with the Grumpig. And then we have Feraligatr. So Feraligatr, of course, has always been one of my favorites as a save swap ever since it got the Shadow Claw. I love using the Shadow version of Feraligatr. The A rank, we have Dusclops. Dusclops is, yeah, I mean, another Ghost type. Dusknoir is definitely better in my opinion, but this one's bulkier. And it is worth it. I think it's really good. It has Shadow Punch, right? And then it also has Ice Punch. That's the moveset you usually see. It has Poltergeist too, but you don't see Poltergeist. I think it does, but yeah, I mean, Shadow Punch is just faster to get to and everything. And then Machoke. Machoke could be another good fighting type, if you want to consider that. But still, Primeape is definitely going to be better. Then we have Oranguru. I think Oranguru can do well in this meta. With that confusion damage, Brutal Swing, and Trailblaze. So it does have a pretty good move combination. Emolga, the thing about Emolga is, and I battled this a lot, not a lot, but a decent amount of times in Great League Remix. And Emolga has always been fantastic just because acrobatics is just like so good now, and discharge as well, and then Thundershock gets to the moves fast. So Emolga is actually really, really, really good. It really can't take hits well, but it is a really good Pokemon. Then we have Machamp. Or Shadow Machamp, another fighting type if you want to consider it. If you want to do double fighting, I could see something like Primeape and Machamp, but you definitely want Primeape on the team. Then we have Jellicent. The Hex buff this season really helped out Jellicent a lot, getting to the Surfs and the Shadow Balls faster. Then we have Aurorus with the Powder Snow, Weather Ball, Meteor Beam combination. Heavy hitting attacks right there, especially that Meteor Beam. Diggersby is going to double resist those ghost type attacks from all the ghost Pokemon, which is going to be fantastic. It does have to watch out for the fighting type Pokemon and even ice types like the Auroras, right? Although you do have Fire Punch for like the Abomasnow, for example. But yeah, just a lot of ghost types are going to double resist the quick attack. So something to keep in mind. But again, you do double resist the Astonish as well, so definitely going to be really good there. The XP is just so bulky. It's really good. I have a rank 2. If you have a really good rank 1, you definitely want to hold on to it and build it and invest in it and use it. And then for the B rank, we do have Gallade. So Gallade, of course, has Psycho Cut, Leaf Blade, and Close Combat. Usually the moves that you see, you could see the Synchronoise, you could see Charm, technically, on this, right? Then we have Drifblim, another ghost type. I've loved using Drifblim for the past couple of seasons, ever since Astonish was buffed, like a season or 2 ago. I loved using Drifblim. Really, really powerful. Not as bulky as some of the other ghost types, like the Corsola, for example, or the Dusclops, but I do like Drifblim. Then we have Lickilicky with Rollout. This kind of, it got nerfed this season, Rollout, and it's still decent Pokemon, and I do think it has some play for sure, especially with all the ghost types. Again, you're double resisting those ghost type damage, which is fantastic. But not seen as much play. And then another ice type, Cetitan. Cetitan did receive a new move. Was it this season? Was it? What was it? Was it Icicle Spear? I'm sorry, maybe it wasn't Icicle Spear. I don't know, but I know Cetitan got something that made it decent, so that's pretty cool. Galiciopod has always been a great save swap. Abomasnow, I think, is pretty good as well. It depends if you want Icy Wind or Weather Ball. If you go for the Shadow, I probably like the Weather Ball, but if you go with the non-Shadow, I like Icy Wind for the debuffs. And then we have Clodsire, so Clodsire, pretty cool. Pretty good Pokemon as well. I think Clodsire will do pretty good this meta. Moving on to the other options, we have Linoon, so another normal type. I don't think it's not gonna be as good as Ferret. This one has Shadow Claw, I think. I was looking it up just before the video, but it's not gonna be as good as Ferret or even Ursaring, but it's there for you. And then Leafani, of course, Leafani got Shadow Claw, so Leafani has been used a little bit with Leaf Blade and X's and Shadow Claw. Pretty good. It can't take hits, right? It doesn't have the greatest typing. It is double weak to fire. Not that we're seeing many fires, but you could see fires. Double weak to flying as well, but still, if it gets on the good matchup, it's pretty good. And then Dragalge is a dragon type, Medicham. Nowadays, if you see Medicham, you expect Psycho Cut, and I like Psycho Cut and Medicham. So Dynamic Punch and Psychic, is that the moveset you want on Medicham? I think so. And then Hakamo-o is another dragon type with that Dragon Claw. It also has Brick Break as well, and Dragon Tail as the fast move. Frostlass, another ice type. Alolan Marowak, fire if you're going for... there's not many... I don't know. I don't think it has many targets that it could necessarily hit. It has some. It has Jump Pluff, as Leafani. And plus, you can do neutral damage if you're going for the Fire Spin. If you're going for Fire Spin. But you could also go Hex on it, right? For super effective damage towards the Ghost types. And then we have Gastrodon, a Mudslap user, always been fantastic. Goodra, a couple dragons, Goodra and Dragonite. And then Quillfish. Quillfish could be a decent save swap. I think that could be pretty good. Can't take hits very well, but it does get to the moves fast. And then Superior, as well as another grass type. But we're going to go ahead and move on to the solid team options. So for the first team, it's going to be Double Dose with Ghost with Dusclops and Dust Noir. And then Primeape in the lead. The backline is not going to appreciate normal types like Diggersby because they do double resist the ghost type attacks, or like Ferret, for example. But Primeape will do well against those Pokemon. It'll do well against the normals like Ferret and Ursaring, right? Against Diggersby as well, against Lapras even. And then Dusknoir also has Dynamic Punch if you can get to... you can get to it, so you probably pick up a shield to do a lot of damage, especially the Shadow one. So it still has play there, so that's why I'm probably leaning towards that as a safe swap, just because if they respond with a normal type, you have the Dynamic Punch, right? Next team, we do have Double Dragon with Dragonite and Hakamo-o and Primeape in the lead. Now, this team is triple weak to Fairy, but Fairy's not eligible. So it is still triple weak. You can still run Charm. Gallade can have Charm. So if you happen to run into like a Gallade with Charm or a Raichu with Charm, you're going to lose. But that I don't anticipate being super common, right? And obviously the back line is weak to Ice. you could go, that's right, Primeape is super effective towards ice, and I love Primeape as a fighting type. Now, if you don't want to be weak to ice, you could go with Baxcalibur and Octobax as well. I didn't put them on the list, but I think those two are going to be really good dragon types, especially Octobax, because it doesn't have that ice weakness. It has a fighting weakness, but it doesn't have that ice weakness. Still weak to Fairy, but again, Fairy's not eligible unless if you see like a Gallade with Charm, you know. So you could consider that if you want to put like an Octobax on the team. Next up, we have Jump Left in the lead with Ferret as a safe swap, and then a Ghost type Galarian Corsola. Of course, if you don't have the Corsola, I wanted more bulk. This team is pretty bulky. I wanted more bulk, but if you don't have the Corsola, you can go with a Dusknoir or even a Dusclops or even a Jellicent. I think would be pretty good. You can just replace it with another Ghost type, to be honest. But yeah, I think Ferret could act as a really good safe swap. Next up, we do have Drifblim with a Shadow version of Drifblim. I prefer the Shadow one with Lapras and Grumpig. So, yeah, I mean, Lapras generally acting as a good safe swap. Skull Bash or Ice Beam really depends on what you're looking for. And then next up, we have Diggersby, Oranguru. Oranguru is another one I think could see some play in this meta. And then Shadow Feraligatr, or the regular version of Feraligatr if you want to be able to take more hits. And then the final team is going to be Double Ice with Aurorus and Abomasnow, and then Emolga in the lead. So obviously the backline not going to appreciate fighting types, but Emolga does resist fighting type damage. So yeah, let me know what you think of these teams. Let me know what you think of the Retro Cup and what team you plan on running, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.